Welcome back to Craving Cars. I'm Corey, and we are downtown Kansas City at Bartle Hall, or which I guess formerly known as Bartle Hall. I think they're going to be calling this from now on the Kansas City Convention Center, which is, well, it's fine. It's a convention center that's in Kansas City, so that works out. But we are for the first time, Craving Cars is down here at the Mecum Auction. Now, we were hoping to make it out here multiple days. This is like a 3-day deal. Unfortunately, other things, life gets in the way and things of that sort. But we are here, have made it down here for the last day, and hopefully at least for a good few hours to kind of see some really nice rides and to see what kind of stuff. Now, what I was told, which was cool, so if I missed them go through the auction part, that's okay, because they put a sticker, of course, what they went for in the auction. So because that was one of our deals that we wanted to find out. It's just kind of curious. Maybe we should do some guessing. I might do that. We might see if we can come to some cars, do some guessing, see what things ran for, and let you do comments of what you think it went for, and then we'll show the prices. But yeah, first let's get up to the show. Let's get going. I know there are too many things to talk about at a place like this, especially, it's Mecum here, and with hundreds and hundreds of cars. But some of the things that maybe you would walk past or not look up to as much is one of the things maybe you need to stop in and see and check out the detail and look at the kind of shape it's in. And this is a car that's an example of that. It's a Tornado, and it is clean and cut, and just some of the detail that goes in this kind of car, a car like this anyways, is just, it's immaculate. Here, let's You guys gotta know that I'm kind of a Datsun fan when it comes to the Japanese side. Nissan fan per se. That's Datsun really. But it's some of the old stuff. I think it's some of the cooler. It really reminds me more of the old British stuff more than not. More than compared to a lot of the other Japanese stuff. But that's just the styling, the cool. I don't know. I'm staring off camera. I'm actually looking at somebody, by the way. I'm not just looking away. I'm actually looking at somebody. Yeah, there he is.
Not looking at anybody.
Hey. He's like, no, he's not. He's not looking at anybody. Anybody know who that is? He's famous. Comments below if you know who that is. Famous man.
A wise man.
Well, if anybody's curious on whether I can fit in a 1968 Datsun 2000, there's your answer. I think I have as much or more space than I do a typical Mazda Miata, but it is a convertible, and I have a feeling it would be, the story would be flipped a little bit if that top was up, because I have a feeling the top would get to about right there. Yeah, what a cool, fun little car this would be on a nice country back road. Very tastefully done. That interior is nice. And you know what trips me up on some, you can look back there, it has a curved window, but look at that. You don't realize how curved this windshield is. And how much they don't build stuff like that. It's just really cool. And then they did some resto modding on the interior, and they really did a clean job at it. Very clean job. You guys know me, I'm a big car person. Respect trucks to the fullest. I don't typically buy trucks or drive them because I feel like trucks have a purpose outside of just driving. But this guy right here, I think I'd drive that. What do you think of the orange? What do you think that went for? What do you think that's gonna go for? Huh? Orange. It's kind of a thing with GM during the 60s, 70s. Whatever. Each one had its own kind of version of what they called that orange. Question to you. How many of you knew that GMC made their own rebadged El Camino? The Caballero. I'll be honest, I didn't. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. I like Jeeps, and from a distance that look black. And I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera very well, but there is actually some like burgundy metal or reddish like flake in the paint. So when the light hits it, you have a reddish tint, which, you know, that goes well. Okay, if it looks like I've got so much space in here as if like, I don't know, I'm in some kind of a shed, that's just the size of the interior, and this, look at this liner. It just makes it seem like way bigger in here and brighter, because then when you get to the front dash, it's all black. Now, talk about a bench seat. This is as comfortable as if I am sitting at home on my couch, and my couch is not an uncomfortable place to be. And you just glide in a car like this with this bench seat like that. I mean, look at this thing. That's pretty cool. Nice old Mercury. Did you see that? Did you just see it? Funk. Unrestored 1970 Chevelle with how many miles? 64,000. And this car was loved. This car was loved because, I mean, sure, you can see unrestored chrome other than the paint, but for how old this car is and the amount of miles that are on this car is extremely clean. And I want it. Take it home right now. Please. Can I have the keys? Can we take it? Guess what? We got another Datsun. Let's see how clean she shall be. What we got? It's a copper. Got the louvers. That's common. Some people don't like those. I don't mind them. It's not bad. We've got. I love the TA style looking wheels. Of course, it's the manual, and I love the mahogany wood shifter knob. And of course, you've got no engine swap here. We have the original straight six. all of however many horsepower it is. It's two-tone color, actually. You see that? Besides, of course, that GMC Caballero, they also made the Sprint. So once again, a El Camino with the GMC badge that I, for some reason, just put it past me that they were out there, and I just never paid much of attention, I guess. Oops. Well, it turns out, of course, GM is not the only one that has that kind of orange color, at least. Whether this is factory or not, but the Galaxy XL here with the vinyl top also has this lovely orange that we see so often in the GM line of things. Now that's the steering wheel. I can barely get this bad boy in a shot. Look at the size of this thing. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of on these old steering wheels is how thin they were. Driving around and the power steering part and the size of this wheel, I mean, it'll be fine. It drives fine that way, but I just want a little bit more to grip on these. Maybe it's just because someone being tall with a little bit bigger hands, I don't know. But just seeing some of these old style dashes, seeing the way the gauges look, kind of look like I'm looking at the rear of the car, but yet I'm looking how fast I'm going. Automatic, nice big open, not quite a full through floor, but it's really nice flat spot there, the way the vents go, all the chrome. These seats are something else. If you kind of look at it, they kind of actually concave there in the middle like this, as opposed to just being just a straight rounded seat. I can cruise. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can figure out how to get out of here. Nice click. Old Land Cruiser. Nice FJ. But I think I see another one over here that's just a little cleaner. Let's go take a look at that. There it is. This is the one, the Land Cruiser Toyota FJ here. That's clean. Someone's getting themselves a nice Land Cruiser here. Boy, many stuff. So we got a Thunderbird and awesome GTO, Chevelle, 64, and an Audi. Kind of doesn't go with the stuff I was just pointing out, but you know, it's Mecum. They got everything. An auction about whatever you want. Now this is some on the Oldsmobile side. My favorite on the Oldsmobile side is the 442, and this shape. Yes, I do love the the mid 60s ones too. This is 72, maybe like a 70 or 71. Maybe I'm about the same. But Oldsmobile 442. This shape. There's something about the shape, kind of something similar to a Chevelle. I just absolutely I love them. Yep. Now this guy, this Camaro here is a really cool color. The Z28, who looks a little resto modded. The way it sits, suspension-wise, a little bit fatter tires, and obviously that green. That's pretty cool. Corvair fans out there? Anybody? I think they're pretty cool. And I think this was a car that GM could have did so much more with if they really, really wanted to. Something to kind of help fight the market, the European market that was coming into the States. They came out with this. It was something that was just, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, there's no front engine. You know, some of the front wheel drives have this. So the floorboard, which goes across. Let me see if I can show you this. There's no middle hump throughout the whole car, so it's a flat floor. Something you don't see very often in that old car, but I mean it's rear-wheel drive, but then again, the engine's in the rear. And it's crazy because it literally looks like a car. Pop the trunk and the engine is in it. I think that's why I like it so much, because it still looks like your typical front engine. You know, you got your hood, you got your trunk, and seats in the middle, but thanks to the Mustang, that car stopped being made. Something you don't really see in the States very often is the Vauxhall. You definitely never saw one of these. How wild looking is this thing? And that's a Vauxhall. It's not a small little hatchback car at an economy price. Something Porsche has always done front and center is I love that they put the tachometer right in the middle, and they've always done it. They'll always continue to do that. And did you see that? I mean, this is an '87 911 turbo with the whale tail on it, and this was kind of my favorite growing up. Is this look of 911s and having that whale tail. That's what I've always pictured a Porsche looking like, and that was the one that was above all, and it technically still is. Now, some people might maybe not the best looking steering wheels. Pretty much a lot like the 928s in there, but it doesn't matter. It's the drivability. I mean, I'm in this car, a 6'2", and I've got quite a bit of headroom here. And even for an 80s car, an 80s small sports car at that. And the mechanism, you hear, click the door open, it has a nice little boom shut, click shut, and it sounds good. All the gauges front and center. The seat is actually fairly well bolstered for not being a super high like Recaro kind of in seat. And it's just of course, you gotta have one of those. I just love it. I love the fact that I'm actually sitting in this right now. I mean, granted, this is back in the in the 80s. This is the water cooled. I'm sorry, back in the 80s here. This is the air cooled, and obviously in the late 90s they went over to water cooled. Heaven forbid to some people on the 996s that they did something like that. But in heart, the Porsche is still a Porsche. Even though the newest ones are made a little bit bigger than this. This really is a small car, but at the same time, I fit in it. I could drive this. I like it. I like it as much as I did when I was a kid. I like it as much as I would have expected I would have liked it. My expectations were up there. So sitting in this and looking on how it was designed and looking at the dash, and there really is no disappointment many years later. Thank you, Mecum. Thank you very much for bringing your auction to Kansas City. Thank you. The Germans are different in certain. I mean, look at this. See this? That's the door lock. See, look at this. The knob. You turn it when you could just click it, or I don't know. Strange. And the lever down here to open the door is actually down low. So here's your armrest, here's your handle. Right there, right here's where your window switches are. And of course, you know, they utilize all the space in the cars, even your door pockets. Clever little Germans, you. I'm not saying I would choose a convertible per se, but I would not choose it. I know they're being loud. 18,000 for the General Lee is up next. 169. Yeah, 69 Charger. Let's see what it goes for. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's loud, probably can't hear me, but I expected more from the General Lee, especially since that's the most resto-modded version I've ever seen. It sounds fantastic. I know the auction's going on, it's kind of loud right now, so I'm going to try to speak up a little bit. You know me, big fan of certain things. And this golf scheme, the team, the history it has behind it, I'm a huge fan of. Because one, I'm a big racing fan, but I mean the Ford GT in general, this first gen of the redone Ford GT has always been my favorite. I know the new one is technically more of a masterpiece of a scientific monster of a race car, and it is better in every way in the performance side of things. But when it comes to the heritage of the GT40, when it comes to that retro look, I hate to say it, this Ford GT is got it down. I mean, it is so close. The new one is yes, it has a similar look, but that's all they've kept. Other than that, it is a completely different car. But I mean, this black with silver, oh, that's sweet. And obviously, you know what's cool about this golf scheme, this heritage right here, is right there. They left the number blank so you can fill it with whatever number you want. So whatever racing team of that golf deal that you're the biggest fan of, put it in. And then of course, it's kind of cool that they do the white with the blue stripes, since that is kind of a heritage thing with Ford in general. With the Cobra is a big name, so all the Shelby names and all that stuff have that color scheme with that, and that is very cool, because obviously, if you guys know, not to mention the movie that just came out, but Shelby was a huge factor on getting the GT40 up and going, and obviously with Cobras and stuff having that, it's just kind of a nice little kickback to Shelby for doing that for the Ford GT and the racing and all that stuff, and dominating for 4 years at the Le Mans. But you know, we are out of here this year from the Mecum. This is the first year we have got to make it, so that was very cool. Thank you, Mecum Auctions, for of course for coming to Kansas City and doing this. this auction because it's just sweet in general. But really nice rides. I mean, I know there's some stuff I didn't necessarily get on camera here, but it is there's so much stuff to have to cover and very little time, of course, to get it all covered in. But it has been very nice. It's been a very fun time. Thanks for watching today. I appreciate you guys, and especially for all of you who made it to the end of the video, because that's always cool too. I know there was a lot more we could have done here at the Mecum Auction. I had limited time, of course, this year. There was some time frames that, I hate to say it, just things getting away. But not necessarily for the bad, but you know, we did what we could. We try to bring you the best content that we can. Appreciate all you subscribers out there, all you viewers out there, all you likes and shares out there, and please repeat all of what I just said. Thanks for watching today. Super appreciate every one of you. But to all you cravers out there, keep craving.